The Seed of the Sacred Fig, Iranian thriller directed by Mohammad Rasulov. Technically speaking, it was a German-French co-production, as these countries provided the funding for the film, but the film itself was shot by Iranians in Iran in secret, because it's an anti-government movie, so it had to be filmed guerrilla style, and eventually the director had to even escape the country before being arrested for making it. The film was nominated at the last Oscars for Best International Feature Film, and it's a long and slow-burning movie at 2 hours and 47 minutes of runtime. The story follows a family of four: father, mother, two young adult daughters. At the beginning of the film, the father gets a promotion at work. He's an investigator for the courts, but that promotion turns out to be a curse more than a blessing, as he is being asked to, or told to, sign convictions of people without actually verifying or investigating them. And there's more and more of those, as Tehran is engulfed by widespread protests against the government. Protests which the daughters of the man seem to be very in favor of. One day the father's service gun goes missing inside the house, and that really kicks into gear the sort of rapid degradation of their family unit. So I love this film. I think it's a brilliant political piece and an example of movie that works on two different levels. It is the surface level family drama about the missing gun and the differences in worldviews among the family members, but more importantly, it is an observation piece about modern day Iran, where each of the characters in the story represents a different part of Iranian society. They're embodiments of ideas. The father represents the government. He outwardly seems to be a principled man of honor and tradition, but when things don't go his way, he doesn't really hesitate to destroy his own family in exchange for, in an attempt to keep his position intact. He violently cracks down on the very people he claims to be protecting and becomes completely paranoid as to the normal people around him. The mother represents the obedient part of the Iranian sort of civilians, the conservative society who turn a blind eye to the regime's violence, even when eventually they themselves begin to be affected by it. The people for whom the traditional values and sort of being so engulfed by the propaganda, that becomes so important that they become blind to the reality of how far enforcing those ideals actually goes. And finally, the daughters represent Iran's youth, progressive, well-informed, not buying into the bullshit, but with limited options in terms of actual actions that they can take. The longer the film goes on, the more evident this metaphorical layer becomes, culminating in the seemingly weird chase in the old village ruins, but I think it shows how the Iranian people are stuck in this pointless cycle of running in circles as their own country becomes desolate and arid and ruined. What I also think is brilliant about the film is how it manages to humanize both the father and the mother characters. You can sympathize with their situation and their reasoning, even if you don't agree with it. You understand why they think the way they think and how they became parts of the system, so much that eventually rebelling against it is not even a possible option. I think the performances are all fantastic. The pacing, overall very good, and if you get on board with the sort of ideas that the film is exploring, it's never really boring, I think. And also it is really impressive that this was again shot in secret, and I think incorporating real social media footage of the real protests is incredibly seamless and fits the movie completely. So I love the film. I think it's very strong, but also, and this is an expression I don't particularly like, but it is an important film because it does a good job of explaining and highlighting the complicated and kind of hopeless nature of Iranian society to the Western viewer, showing that it isn't simple and there are no sort of easy, obvious solutions to fix the situation. Very good stuff.